Hey, this is Leon Poe, man. You listening to Causeway Street Podcast.
What's up, y'all? This is Kenny Anderson. Y'all listen to the Causeway Street Podcast.
For all you new listeners out there, I'm your host, Josue Pavone. I'm joined as usual by my two co-hosts.
I'm Sean Dutra. What's up?
Yeah,
like
talk
long
about
walks
yourself.
on the bee.
There you go. Joel Pavone. What up?
I'm a Pisces. The most romantic.
It leads off with that.
The most romantic sign in all of the zodiac.
Oh,
If you couldn't tell by my voice already.
oh,
Sexy.
But I'm the producer of this ensemble that we call Causeway Street. In case you missed it.
Hey, Bill Walton here, Celtics 1986. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Yeah, come here for nothing but the truth. This is where dreams come true. Thank you, Boston, for my life.
where are we going?
You guys are such homers.
It's your boy Terry Rozier. You're listening to the Causeway Street Podcast. Now listen to my boys Joe, Sway, Joel, and Sean.
I think the Celtics can win only if Marcus Smart comes back.
It's an absolute blast to get a chance to compete in the playoffs. That's what you work for. It's what you work for as a staff. It's what you work for as a team. And the players put in an incredible amount of energy throughout the entire season and had a great regular season. And so now they get to, and some of them are going to play bigger roles than they thought, and they get to enjoy the opportunity to compete at the highest level.
Celtics coach Brad Stevens, right after the season finale, Celtics knocked off the Nets, but obviously most of the Celtics fans were looking at what was going on around the NBA and trying to figure out who the Celtics were going to face in the first round of the NBA playoffs, and it couldn't have worked out any better than what we're seeing right now. Boston Celtics, Milwaukee Bucks, you got the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors destined to meet each other in the second round, with the Celtics having to avoid both of those teams. But of course, first things first, we got to see what happens between the Celtics and the Bucks. And here to break it down is Josue Pavone. That is me, Joel Pavone, Sean Dutra.
Hello.
And we got a special guest who we haven't talked to in quite some time, man. We got Zach Peliquin, who is he's actually patiently waiting for us to bring him in. And I'm sure he's got plenty to say, because what's it been, like 2 months since we talked to Zach? It's been a minute.
So happens when you start crapping on Marcus Smart, you get banned from the podcast.
Is that what it is? Speaking of Marcus Smart, we'll talk about when he comes back, how he will impact this team, whether it's game 6, game 7, that's what they're saying is the earliest. We'll talk about that, how he could possibly change this series if he's able to come back in the first round. And of course, we're talking about how these two match up against each other. We got the Bucks, Celtics. They met not too long ago, towards the tail end of the regular season. So this team has faced the Bucks without Kyrie Irving, even though they did drop that game. It was a competitive one, and we'll talk about what this means moving forward. We'll also talk about the rest of the Eastern Conference. We'll break down the playoff bracket in the East, and we'll head out west and make our predictions, our first round predictions as to who's going to win what. I'm pumped for this, guys. I mean, this is that time of the year, fellas. This is when
For all the marbles.
this is when the games mean the most. Playoffs, and this is one of the better ones, right? We got a lot of teams here that could have. A lot of these series could go either way, especially if we're talking about the Western Conference. Am I right?
Yeah. I think all the playoff matchups this year are actually pretty riveting. There's not any. I mean, even that 4-5 matchup, the Cavs Pacers, that'll be a good series. I mean, I don't know. I think the Celtics. So for the Celtics Bucks, I mean, it looks like everything sort of started to fall into the way that is looking better for the Celtics. But I don't know. Antetokounmpo still best player in the series by far.
Still on that edge, huh?
Sean hasn't changed, huh?
Not really.
Still on that edge.
Not really.
No.
Sean's not buying into.
I'm not
no,
saying-
Celtics advancing in the second
Now,
round.
I will say-
He's got his feet dangling over the edge. He's just chilling,
I will say,
swinging his feet.
I will say that it is probably the most favorable first round matchup.
Okay, so it's better than facing the Miami Heat, right?
Well, much better than playing the Wizards. I think the Wizards would have beat you.
Yeah, I think we
5.
established that last episode. I mean, between the two teams, I don't know. It's not the margin of which team is tougher is not that. It's not as big as some may think. If we're talking between the Miami Heat and the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yep.
But I think out of the two, I would give the edge a little bit to the Heat. But either way, I think if you're the Celtics, you're not facing the Wizards. And
you got to be happy about
that.
it.
That alone, you have to be happy about that.
So yeah. I mean, we've talked about this probably over and over again, but it's all going to come down to the two young guys really for the Celtics. I mean, I do want to see what playoff Marcus Morris looks like. I think that'll be interesting. I think the Celtics probably edge out. Obviously, on the defensive end, they're a better defensive team even without Kyrie than the Bucks, but they also have more grit. The Bucks probably have more playoff experience, or it's probably pretty much a wash right there. When you think about it,
it evens out.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be a toss up. I mean, I'd be surprised if this series was one sided one way or the other. But if you had to pick a first round opponent for the Celtics, it'd probably be the Bucks.
I'm with you on that, Sean. That and what you have to say about the Celtics' defense. I think if we're talking about the concerns for the Celtics heading into the series, I think you have to be a little bit concerned about the offense. You talk about Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris has to be what we saw, not too long ago. He's got to be one of those consistent contributors. I think the 3-point shot is very important in the series. I think the Milwaukee Bucks did a really good job of forcing the Celtics to shoot from the outside, shoot their way into that game not too long ago in April. And I think that's what ultimately helped the Bucks come out of that one with the win. I think the Celtics came up short with a lot of 3-pointers down the stretch. I think they forced guys like Morris, guys like Tatum to take jump shots. They took away their lanes. They clogged the middle. They made it really hard for guys like Tatum and Jaylen Brown to go inside where they feel really comfortable off the dribble. And I think that's the same kind of strategy that they're going to go with heading into this first round series. Joel, what do you think?
I mean, I think because of so much focus on the Greek Freak, I don't know. I feel like it's not going to be that like his coming out party. I don't think he's developed a killer gene yet. I think he's too nice of a superstar right now.
Well, I think this is the series where his fan
I think
base,
it is going to be his coming out party.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just going to say. I think this is the series where it's like, okay, this is it now.
Like
You're ready now. We've groomed you up until this point. You've shown that you're not only one of the elite players in this league, but one of the emerging superstars who's expected to be, quote unquote, the LeBron after LeBron. So I think this series where he's supposed to make that leap.
How did the Celtics stop LeBron before he became a champion? You shut everybody else down, right?
Sure.
Yeah. I think that's going to be this time around. He could
this
go off for 30
Bucks
points.
Team's better than those Cavs teams, though.
You think so?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Eric Bledsoe.
Depends which Cavs teams. But, yeah. Neither here or there, I guess. I mean, some Cavs team, what are you talking? We're talking about like the early KG, Paul Pierce era, or you're talking about the last Cavs team, the 2010 team before he went to Miami?
The team that won 60 games? That team?
Yeah, because
or are you talking about?
I'm talking about supporting cast.
Well, you're not talking about
take LeBron out.
You're not talking about when he came back home. LeBron teams, right?
No.
That team was way more talented. You're talking about okay, gotcha.
Yeah, what early cast with LeBron, but I don't know. I think this is going to be a big series for Antetokounmpo. He's obviously the best player in the series. He has something to prove. I mean, last year he did have a pretty good playoff. I think he put up like 25 points a game last year, but then they got trounced in the first round. I mean, what team are the Bucks? What team is the Bucks? I don't know.
Who are the Bucks?
Who are the Bucks? What are the Milwaukee Bucks?
What's their identity?
Who are these Bucks?
Yeah. No, but seriously, who are they? Are they a team that we thought coming into the season, right? Coming into the season, I think everybody had really high expectations for the Bucks to be maybe pushed into that top 5 category in the East.
I think a lot of people had him like top 3.
Seriously, because this is supposed to be the breakout year for Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
He had a breakout year, and they're still in the 7th spot.
Right. Well, they're also anticipating Chris Middleton to be healthy all season long.
Which I think he's a problem.
Parker was going
Chris
to take
Middleton's
it up
a big problem.
Notch. Yeah.
Like I just remember the second game of the season, Celtics lose their home opener to the Bucks. I think it was like a 4-point loss, and everyone was like, "Yep, John Antetokounmpo, he's here." And it's like, really?
Wow. Yeah, we were also
that was a good game too. That was the second night of a back-to-back.
Yeah, reeling off the Gordon Hayward injury.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
but yeah, I do think this is going to be sort of a breakout session. So the thing about Antetokounmpo is he can't turn the ball over, because I think if there's one way you can sort of slow him down is with the turnovers. And Brad Stevens will definitely have a game plan in place.
You kind of dare him to shoot.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's
damn
literally can take 2
pass.
steps from the 3-point line and dunk. So I mean, it's hard to like force him to do anything. You know what I mean?
Look for Aaron Baines to be huge in this series.
Was that an Australian accent?
All of Australia.
All right, let's get to our guest of the show. Zach Peliquin. Zach, haven't talked to you in a while, man. What's new, bro? How are the kids? How's everything going? Thanks for joining us.
Not too bad, my man. Not too bad. You know how it is. Work catches up to you, and you just don't get to enjoy things anymore.
Days good, huh? Gotcha.
Hey, you can't let him say sucking a dick, and every time I say sucking a dick, I get yelled at.
He'll edit that one out. All right,
Zach, but please keep saying it, though. I appreciate that.
Let's catch up a bit. How do you feel about this young group, guys who have never been on the big stage, with such a huge role on the second best team in the Eastern Conference, heading into the playoffs and facing a team like the Bucks with expectations somewhat at a high level?
Well, if I had one word, I'd have to say overachieving right now. And that scares me because, you look at guys like Marcus Morris, guys like Terry Rozier, guys like Jason Tatum, and even Jaylen Brown to a certain extent. There's no precedent for these guys to play this well for a playoff series. There's really no precedent for them to play this well in the regular season. And that scares me a ton going into the playoffs because you're talking about relying on players who are having an elevated level of pressure that they've never really seen before. And, in the playoffs, the game speeds up, gets more physical, and we've seen in the playoffs, stars shine in the playoffs. That's the way it works. You have the 8 best teams from your conference, and there's no excuses anymore. There's no ticky-tack fouls for the most part, unless you're in a series against LeBron. You got to earn everything. And that's my fear with these guys is that, you may have gotten a few cheap wins here and there throughout the regular season, maybe a few shots that, people, in the playoffs aren't going to give you. And so the players like the Marcus Morrises of the world and the Jason Tatums of the world, these guys, do they have the experience? Have they seen playoff basketball like this at this speed, at this level of intensity? And are they going to be able to adjust? I think they did a great job closing out the regular season. I'll say that as well. I think they did a great job closing out the regular season, and I think they are focused. My fear is your go-to guys aren't there. Starting this series, and actually throughout the entire playoffs, your go-to guys are not going to be there all series long. And I know we kind of look at this and say, okay, the new go-to guys are your Jaylen Browns, your Jason Tatums, your Marcus Morris, your Terry Roziers. But at the end of the day, when you have to have somebody take a last shot in a game 4, 5, 6, 7, that is a hell of a different pressure than what you see in the middle of the regular season when you're just trying to win games against the playoffs. So I'm curious to see how it works. I think early in this series, we're going to see a lot of heavy coaching, we'll say, from Brad Stevens. I think a lot of the pressure of this series is going to go directly to him. And if he can get these guys to react, then, there's a good chance that they get through. But, if the bright lights show, to be a little bit too much pressure for him, I'd be a little worried.
What worries you the most about the Bucks? What's something that you think that, guys like us who have been covering the Celtics will, are overlooking heading into this first round series?
Well, I think the biggest thing with the Bucks, and actually it's kind of obvious, and you guys have probably mentioned it quite a few times, is that this is an incredibly athletic team. And not that Boston isn't, but, these guys, from Milwaukee, and they're almost in the same boat as what we're looking at this version of the Celtics to be, that you have athletic, hyper-talented players who are probably, if you look at the Bucks on paper, like Sean was just saying, this is probably a top 3, worst-case scenario, top 4 team in the East. But is their execution good enough? Is their coaching good enough? No, it hasn't been. It's been pretty much a failure to most. So, you look at that Bucks team, and I think they are a matchup nightmare. We realistically do not have an individual who can match up one-on-one with Giannis. The Greek Freak is on a plane by himself. If you have Gordon Hayward, maybe you're getting there. I don't think you look at a Jason Tatum and say, well, he's going to be able to hold Giannis to 30% shooting, and he's going to hold him to under 25 points. Giannis is going to have his way in this series, and he should. And I think he is going to be really the pivot point for everything that the Bucks do. But then you look around at guys like Chris Middleton, who he played 82 this year, scored over 20 points a game. That's another very good scorer, and who you telling me is going to match up with him? Is Jaylen Brown going to shut down a guy who's putting 20 a game in? This Boston defense is very good, but the athleticism and the talent on Milwaukee, it scares the hell out of me. It really does.
Yeah, I really think Chris Middleton could be like that. Obviously Antetokounmpo is going to be the number one option on offense, but Middleton can just score, just flat out score, shoot. He's going to be a tough. I'm more worried about him than Bledsoe. Hands down, because I'm not too worried about Bledsoe, but dude, if you think about that big 3, Antetokounmpo, Middleton, Bledsoe. And then on the other side of the court, you're looking at probably a 19-year-old, a 20-year-old, a 21-year-old, and I don't know, Al Horford. So I mean, like that's the Celtics are going to win on depth, and that's asking a lot in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think. Well, in a way, like I'm glad you brought up Al Horford because I think that's something that Brad Stevens will definitely utilize. We've seen him in the past do the point forward move. You know, we saw him do that with Jason Tatum not too long ago. You know, I think that's something he'll probably utilize at some point in this series. I think if the going gets rough, I think he'll turn to that, and I think that's a matchup nightmare for this team. And I think when you look at the Celtics' pick and roll defense, that's something that's also tough for a guy like Giannis, who you could sort of counter. Guys like Marcus Morris, Al Horford can defend the pick and roll a bit. I'm not saying that these guys are going to be, one-on-one matches for Giannis, but it's sort of like a pick your poison type of thing where, you look at what Terry Rozier has done defensively, what the backcourt has done, they have guys that can defend. And I think that's not my concern. My concern is, can this team, put up enough points on a consistent level, find their shot on a consistent level? Because this team is going to challenge the Celtics to shoot. And if they're unable to knock down those jump shots, if they're unable to come up with, go through these scoring droughts, that's what we saw in the second half of this last time these two teams faced each other. That worries me a bit because the Milwaukee Bucks have Giannis on their side. They have the best player in the series. They have a guy who can capitalize on that drought, drop 9 points or whatever, 9-11 points in 3 minutes, and all of a sudden you're down by double figures.
Yeah, and also
that makes all the difference in the world.
I mean, don't forget too. I mean, if things are not going well, you can get the ball to Giannis. You know what I mean? You know who the ball is going to go to.
The Celtics don't have that.
It's got to be Tatum. It's going to be Tatum. I think most consistently, it's going to be Tatum. I mean, I love Rozier and Morris, but I mean,
it's like what Joel said, last week. You don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah, that last game against the Bucks, though, there was no Rozier. There was no point guard at all. It was.
Right. Yeah, I don't really take much into that.
It was Tatum. It was a little bit of.
I guess they were forced to do.
Not even Larkin. Larkin was
even. They were forced to do the point forward. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, other than Giannis in this series on the Celtics side, what the Celtics have in their favor, we touched upon a little bit. Defense, they're the number one defensive team in the NBA. I think a lot of people forget that Al Horford turned it up another notch last season in the playoffs,
especially against
and I don't understand why he wouldn't do that again this time around.
Big spot here.
He's going to get more touches. He's going to get
stat sheet like we've seen him do a lot this season.
Is he capable of doing that in the playoffs?
He did it last year
in a full series.
He did it last year. He did it last year. All 3 series.
Yeah, and I think this is a great matchup for him. I think this is a team that
different team last year.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I'm talking about in this matchup in particular. If you look at head to head, who's going to slow him down? If you put him in the block or if you put him outside or, if you put him in a pick and roll situation, we've seen what he can do when that jump shot's flowing. We've seen what he can do on the block. I mean, if you look at the front court, the Bucks front court, there's just not a lot of guys who can slow that down, especially when Al can get going, when he got the footwork down and when he's, in attack mode. I think it's a bad matchup for the Bucks,
Yeah, I agree.
All right. So, do we want to make predictions?
Zach, what do you think? What's your prediction? How do you see this series playing out?
Well, I think it was. I don't know if it was Dutra or Sway said it best early on when you guys were talking when I was sitting here quietly. This is not going to be a quick series. I don't think. I think you got 2 teams that are going to have to feel each other out early on in the series. So my gut says that Boston at home should be a pretty sure bet. I think they'll take care of business at home in the first couple of games here. But when they go to Milwaukee, I think Milwaukee should get their mojo going and probably take at least a game, if not 2, out there. And then I think it's kind of it's one of those series, kind of like the Hawks series, the year that the Celtics won it. The home team won every single game, the entire series. So that's kind of the way I'm feeling this one. I think Boston gets it by the skin of their ass. But it's going to be close.
How are you going to say skin of their ass?
Skin of their ass.
That's not the same, bro.
like when Jalen popped up off from his ass last year, like that.
Whichever one you want to play. No, I
sure I've heard that one before.
I see this one going 7.
Skin of his thigh.
And I think it's going to be
Lower
It's
third.
going to be tough. I think it's going to be really tough. I think for Boston, they're going to have a player emerge in this series. Throughout the playoffs, they're going to have players. They're going to have players emerge. Either Horford has to take control and be that veteran presence and be more of a scoring presence than he's been throughout most of his career in Boston so far, or you're going to have to see one of the young guys really take a big step forward. Whether it's Rozier, whether it's Tatum, whether it's Brown. I think one of those guys is going to have to take on a big part of the scoring load, and we could be, and this is kind of what I was thinking early on in the season, and I think we had a conversation about this way back when, when Gordon Hayward went down, we kind of all knew that this was going to be a tough year for the Celtics to go and win a championship, even though we had our feeling that, this team's so great, they have all these new players, and, we felt really positive to start the year. When Hayward went down, we said, this might be a good thing, because one of these, if not both of these young players, are going to have to learn about these tough, high-pressure situations, which is why this series might be an awesome learning experience for both of those guys. So that's going to be something that I really look out for, but I'll say Boston takes it in 7, very, very tight.
By the skin of their ass.
It's a fun series to watch. Skin of their ass. Fat of their ass. It's going to be close.
Upper thigh.
All right, Zach. Let's let's do this. Let's breeze through this bracket real quick. How about this? All right, we'll all chime in here, depending on what if Zach says something.
He's like
If Zach says
we
something,
don't give our predictions.
no, we'll get it in there. Don't worry, bro. We'll squeeze it in.
This is not going in any chronological order. Then
when have we ever
I know.
gone in?
You know what?
What's this, your first rodeo, bro?
Chronological order.
First time on the College History Podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Causeway Street Podcast. There,
Hey.
Get familiar. All right,
this is the season. This is the series premiere now because the last week
let's
was
look on the other side of things here.
Philadelphia
Philadelphia versus Miami. All right, winner will play the winner of the Celtics versus the Bucks. Zach, who you got?
Wait, before you answer, remember when you said Philly wasn't going to make the playoffs? Yeah, nailed it.
Why did I see that one coming? Why did I not see that one coming?
You guys shat all over me.
No. What was that?
I said they would be fighting for a playoff.
Yeah, we
spot.
said that they would be like in the bottom.
Yeah, sure. You're so
in the bottom
stupid.
half.
Philly's
No,
not
I don't think-
gonna be there. You wait.
I don't think anyone said that they weren't going to make the playoffs, but no one predicted they're going to be third and winning 50 games.
Yeah.
Not even you.
Yeah.
Not
I
even
had them
you.
at the 4 seed.
You also had the Nets in the playoffs.
They
so
were
shut
supposed to
your
be the 8th
face.
seed, okay? And it didn't work
Shut
out.
your face.
Yeah, Sean, it doesn't work both ways. You had the Nets making the playoffs.
I did as a sleeper. I mean, it's okay.
I think the big question
No.
out of all this is how did the Pistons not make the playoffs?
Yeah,
I don't know, Zach. How didn't they make the playoffs?
You know what? You know what really screwed up all these predictions? The Pacers. The Pacers really were the only team that literally nobody saw coming.
None of us had
No, the Pacers and the fucking Heat.
Well, I mean, the Heat they were just good. Like
Yeah,
they're
At one point, they were fourth.
yeah.
So with that being said, I'm guessing Zach's probably going to go with Miami.
Absolutely. Sweep.
Oh, sweet.
No,
Oh,
that-
Jesus.
This is another one where, I mean, you've got a team who's limited in playoff experience with Philly. I love the talent. I think they're getting there, but that's a team for me. They're still, I mean, as soon as LeBron signs there, they'll be all right. But
But you're forgetting one thing, Zach. No, you're forgetting one thing.
Hey, it's a possibility.
They went to go visit Meek Mill, so they visited him in
David
prison.
Robert Kraft, you see that?
They got words of wisdom from Meek Mill. I think they're going all the way. No, I'm kidding. What do you think?
I didn't know they visit Meek.
Robert Kraft did.
So they had Markel Fultz and Ben Simmons.
I'm actually going next week too.
Oh, where? You on the list?
Yeah. It took some
I'm on the list.
pull some strings, but it's gonna be fun. Get
What
some
up,
knowledge from
baby?
Meek. All right, let's go on the other side then. Cleveland. Speaking of Cleveland versus the Pacers.
Cleveland versus the Pacers. I am going to go Pacers.
Wow, really?
I don't like Cleveland at all. I don't like that team right now. I think LeBron is a couple of bad losses away from checking out and saying, get me out of Cleveland. I think he's all done with it. The Tristan Thompson story, which is just awesome. All of that, just drama.
The Kardashian curse, if you will.
That chick was bad. The one that he was with?
Yes, she was.
I don't blame you, Christian. I don't blame you.
Yeah, she was.
But at the end of the day, you're a celebrity, man. Come on, you gotta be more careful than that. Chilling out.
Come on, bro.
He's Canadian,
Tristan
man.
Thompson?
He's Canadian.
Oh, this is my favorite story, man. I'm so happy about this shit. I am so happy about
Welcome
this.
back, Sean.
Nah, man, I literally love when anything bad happens to Kardashians. It's like,
Yeah. Sean's
it
the one that
brightens
texted
my
us about
day,
this.
bro. I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, but
Dude.
is it really bad to them as a more to like Cleveland and the curse?
Listen,
Yo,
everyone,
watch Tristan go back to being old Tristan because of all this. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nah, I mean,
they just signed Perk.
Celtics,
They signed Perk for a reason.
Against the Celtics, Tristan is Tristan. Against all the other teams, he just sucks. Like, you are getting Tristan Thompson. Tristan Thompson versus the Celtics, he's a fucking 10-time All-Star and future Hall of Fame.
They just signed their insurance with Perk. They're like, all right, man, we need you over here, Perk.
Fresh off the Area 21 set?
Yes. Insurance policy for real. Yeah, I'm going with the Cavs, man. I don't think no upset here.
Cavs.
That's
definitely Cavs.
Nah, Lance is gonna be blowing in some ears in this series.
Cavs and then also Philly. I'm picking Philly in the other one. All right.
Yeah, I got Philly in the other one.
Last one. Joel, you got Philly or what?
Philly.
Yeah, you got Meek?
Philly. I got Meek.
All right.
Can't go against Meek.
No, man. Markelle Fultz is back. You know that?
Yeah.
He's actually
he had a triple-double in this.
Philly, by the way.
Yeah.
What they did to Milwaukee in that season finale. No excuses, by the way.
Hold on.
Neither team was resting. Man.
Wait. Isn't a 10 points, 10 assists, and 10 rebounds like a fake triple-double according to Dutra?
It is. But not when you forgot how to shoot 4 months ago. That's actually pretty good. You know what that is? That Markelle Fultz triple-double was like only rivaled that fucking weird D-League player that came out of nowhere. And we're like, oh, look at him. He should have been in the NBA years ago. It's like that whatever that guy name's on the Lakers.
Andre Ingram, man.
Yeah,
the Celtics about to sign him next week.
That was literally like somebody like got released from prison for a crime they didn't commit. Like, that's how I felt. Like, he was in the locker room like, oh, man, 10 years of my life was wasted in the G League. I could have been here balling. See what I could do? You let me in the G League for no reason.
They're like, bro, because of DNA, we found out you weren't found guilty, bro. How can we repay you? Can I play with the Lakers for one last time right before I call it quits? All right, deal. And you'll wear the other Ingram's number, and he won't play.
And you know what? How about this? Everyone's gonna let you score.
There you go.
So does that explain why he looks like he's like 45 years old? How is that guy 32?
He's 32, man.
He spent 10 years in the clink unwanted, man. 10 years of his life was like,
bro. That's stress. That's stress beyond stress.
That dude looks like the uncle that goes to see his nephew, who's gonna, the nephew's supposed to make it because he never did, and he just goes and supports from the sideline. That's what he looked like.
Yeah,
10 years, man.
That dude is not 32.
That's how 10 years looks when you
10 years in the G League.
When you're just like waiting for that call up.
Like, he was, remember those like weird ESPN
he's like
biopics of the D League when it first started with when I remember
they had a show, they had a series.
I remember this vividly. The guy was like, I got insurance. I can get my teeth fixed. He's like, I've been playing basketball for the past 5 years. Now the D League's here. I got insurance, man. He's like walking out of the dentist hall like fucking happy and shit.
Magic Johnson gives him a hug. Did you see all that? The hype and everything. And then he actually delivered, too. 19 points.
He's like the 13-year-old Dominican baseball player that got signed to a single A team. And then when he finally gets called up, everyone questions him like, yo, how old are you for real, though?
That dude's not 32. There's no chance that dude's 32.
Oh, no. He's definitely 45.
I guarantee you his wife didn't believe him. He's like, babe, I'm about to play. She's like, yo, you've been saying that.
She's like, will you pay the fucking child support? Stop fucking saying you're going to play for the Lakers, all right?
You go pick up groceries on your way home.
And then her phone was blowing up. Put on TNT. He's playing. He wasn't lying.
This motherfucker.
And he's on national TV. Oh, I gotta go talk to the judge. I gotta up that alimony real quick.
How much they pay you for that game though?
Yeah, one game. What's that, like $32,000? 45% in my pocket.
Oh man. Ingram. Okay. All right. Toronto.
That was a tangent, man. My bad.
Toronto versus Washington. This is a great series.
This is a great series.
Going to be one of the better. This is going to be one of the most entertaining series out of the Eastern Conference in the first round.
Washington
aside from Boston versus Milwaukee. I'm actually going with Toronto in 7 though.
Washington
in
Toronto.
6. I'm going with the. I'm not going with the underdog. I'm going with Toronto. Zach, who you got?
Okay. Give me Toronto.
Yeah, man. Toronto's on a mission, man. Toronto's on a mission.
Look, this is.
I wouldn't go that far. I just don't think Washington's worth shit.
Oh, it's like that. You're just not buying it.
No, this is. These are the two teams that for the last like 3 or 4 seasons they're like, this is the year. This is the year. And now they're finally gonna play and against each other in the playoffs this time early. Really, I think it's a toss up. But I'm gonna go with Toronto in 7. But it could go either way.
I like how weird thing, literally in all year, it's been like, whoa, but Toronto though, and then they get matched up with the Wizards, and now everyone's like, no. That's what I said. You can't trust Toronto in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If you have to pick,
But neither can you can't trust the Wizards either.
But listen, like last year, you got a playoff John Wall and a playoff Bradley Beal, and they were balling.
Yeah, you're right.
Every year you get a playoff Lowry and DeRozan, and they fucking lay stinkers.
But what? Okay, you're right. But what happens? No, but what happens to John Wall and Bradley Beal? One or the other or both fall short when they're supposed to do their thing. That's what happened against the Celtics last year. John Wall in the last two games, other than the game winner in Game 6,
they were a problem.
No, other than the game winner,
performance away from
they would have beat us. But if it wasn't for Kelly Olynyk having the game of his life.
Seriously.
Other than the Game 6 game winner in Washington, Wall played like shit in that game, and he played like shit in Game 7.
I don't really believe in that, but
you don't believe in that.
I think
it's what happened. I'm not saying that's what I think happened.
Is Kyle Lowry like scoring 4 points in like 3 games in the playoffs? Like he's goals on stretches like that where he is just fucking visible.
The key for Toronto winning in the playoffs in general is not Kyle Lowry. It's fucking DeRozan.
I don't believe.
DeRozan doesn't. At some points
depth this year.
There's no. No, you're right. You're right.
They have depth.
They have depth. They have depth. No, they have the type of depth that the Celtics have.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's because it's young depth. Like no one believes in them type of depth.
And they're all European and shit. All weird names and shit. That's why I don't like them.
You mean like Theus, Tice,
like Van Fleet, Siakam. How do you say it?
You mean like
Onanwube?
You mean like
that guy is?
You mean like Yabusele?
Yeah.
You mean like Shemi?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so those type of names. No, but I feel like DeRozan at times he's like, I got to get this dude involved, so I'm gonna like defer to him. No, he needs to be selfish if Toronto's gonna be successful in the playoffs, in my opinion.
All right, let's head out west. Here we go. Oh, this is what I'm pumped about right here. All these series are gonna be crazy.
Yeah, crazy.
I feel like
Wild West.
I feel like Future and A-Mile, yo. I don't know what's about to happen.
Wait,
right before the last freestyle between B Rabbit and.
But each of you guys, you get a minute and a half apiece.
Oh, I don't know what's about to happen. Sean's like, what are you guys talking about? Come on, man. The last round of 8 Mile, the freestyle battle, bro. It's the final round.
Mom spaghetti.
We got Papa Doc against B Rabbit.
I don't know, man. I don't watch 8 Mile.
This is the final round.
I hate Brittany Murphy.
You get a minute and a half apiece. All right, here we go.
R.I.P.
What did he say?
R.I.P. Brittany Murphy.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
She's
right.
dead as a doornail.
Yep, she's
Fucked up.
no longer with us.
No, that was her last.
Fuck seed.
But that was like casted her perfectly. Yeah, probably the last time she got fucked in a movie.
All right, so the West playoffs.
Real quick. You've seen 8 Mile though, right?
Yeah, I've never like sat down and been like, I'm about to watch 8 Mile. I like see it on TV, watch it here and there. I've probably seen the whole thing. I don't think I've missed a scene, but I don't know.
All right, we'll have to say that for the after show. All right, Golden State versus San Antonio. Zach, this is going to be an easy one for Golden State. What do you think? What's going on here?
I think so. I think San Antonio is not what they thought, or not who they thought we thought they were. So that was tough to get out. I think Golden State
Kawhi's coming back.
It's been a roller coaster ride for those guys. I mean, 2 weeks ago, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, they were like top 5, and now they're 7th.
Well, that's because like the West is 5 to 10 is separated by one game,
but like a game or half a game.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That
now who's the 8th seed?
Minnesota.
Okay, they did win.
Yeah.
Game.
All right, I missed it.
Yeah, it was a good game. It was last night. Oh yeah, you were
at the Sox game, kid.
Speaking of Minnesota versus Houston. Houston in 5, 6. What do you think, Zach?
Is Jimmy Butler gonna play?
Yeah, he's been playing. He's back.
Yeah, dude.
Oh yeah. Then yeah, Minnesota upset.
You got Minnesota.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not taking you
Wow.
I'm serious.
Nah, this is one of those things where like if it does happen, you're like,
no,
you guys.
No. I'll tell you exactly why. I don't believe in a Mike D'Antoni team.
And then when Houston does win, you're gonna be like, dude, I wasn't serious about that.
No, This is something that I truly believe in. I think it's gonna go. Right. I mean, at least it's gonna go 7.
Okay.
D'Antoni can't coach in the playoffs. His teams never succeed in the playoffs. You have James Harden, who has never shown that he can put up like a solid playoff run. You have Chris
They're in
Paul,
the
who
Western
has
Conference Finals
never shown that he can put up a solid playoff run. I was a believer in the
solid performances.
I was a believer in the Rockets at the beginning of the year, but really, and I saw those things and I said, you know what? Maybe they can push and push and push.
All right.
But you go up against the Timberwolves in the first round. This is probably the best 8th seed that's been in the playoffs in a very long time.
Better than Denver in 1994?
I think, yeah, man.
Against the Supersonics?
Dikembe? Oh yeah.
Shit.
What was that? By the way?
Literally, the
On the
only
ground,
thing I know
screaming.
about that is when Dikembe was on the ground screaming.
With the
Like,
ball in his
I
hand.
don't know another fucking player who was on Denver.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. We could go through it.
Oh, okay.
We could go through
Is
it.
he on that
Dale.
squad?
Dale Ellis,
Oh, Dale.
Robert Pack.
One of the original. Oh, Robert Pack. Robert Pack was not a contributor.
Still on his team, though.
Still
You
on the
asked me who was on the
squad. Still on the
squad.
squad.
And to answer your question, Zach, no.
Brian Stith. No.
Houston did not go to the Western Conference Finals. That was San Antonio and the Warriors.
That's right.
Yeah. Ooh, San Antonio.
Yeah. You know why? Because James Harden,
got blocked by Banich.
yes. And he went to a party right afterwards.
Exactly.
What do you think? Is this an upset or what?
I'm calling it. I think both number 1 seeds are going.
No, I don't. Yeah, I don't think
it's.
it's going to be a lot of speculation like, oh, Minnesota just won their game to get into the playoffs, but then they're going to get swept. No, that's not going to happen because Jimmy Buckets, he's back. You got Thibodeau, who's he's a defensive-minded coach, but I still think, pains me to say, I still think Houston wins it.
All right, how
They
about
win it in 6.
All right, how about this? OKC versus Utah.
That's gonna be an interesting series.
OKC versus Utah, and who's got the home court advantage?
OKC.
Yeah, OKC.
Yeah, same. That's the thing about the
OKC,
Western Conference. In my opinion, I don't see any upsets, but I just think it's going to be entertaining series throughout.
Well, who's the 3 seed? Blazers
Portland, man.
versus
It's the Blazers,
New
kid.
Orleans. Your boy Rondo's been balling. And this guy named Anthony Davis.
Man, those are some interesting matchups, man. This is going to be like, there's not a bad matchup there.
I can't wait this weekend. We're going to sit around and watch all
think
these
about
games.
it. 2 versus 7. You got Warriors Spurs. Are you kidding? Like, even if it is Warriors Spurs, it's always entertaining. That Rockets Timberwolves series is going to be entertaining as hell, I think. And then, really, the only dud to me, because I can't stand watching is Utah. But then they got Mitchell. I guess Mitchell's fun to watch. I hate Rubio more than anybody
Your
in the
boy
league.
Jay's there.
Jay's there.
Jerebko, man, come on.
True.
All right, Zach, what do you think? Any upsets? Are you on the same boat as me or what?
Nah, I'm going OKC in this one.
Well, that's not an upset, so you're on the same boat as me.
Oh, well, in which case, chalk.
All right, what about Portland, New Orleans, though?
This one will be fun. Because I think Anthony Davis is on top of his game right now.
Playoff
You have Dame
Rondo.
Lillard,
Look
who's going nose to nose with 2 stars. I mean, these are 2 of the better teams that I don't think anyone really thought they'd be where they are right now.
No.
Portland, I think a lot of people would have said, yeah, that's a playoff team. New Orleans, we were kind of skeptical, whether or not Davis and Cousins would mix and match and be able to really do what they did earlier in the season. But I don't know. I mean, this is a tough one. I'm going to go Pelicans, but I'm not confident in that.
So that is an upset then.
I'm conflicted about
Yeah,
it.
so we'll go.
I'm
We
saying
got
no
one
upsets, but this is the only one that I'm really conflicted about because I'm thinking about.
That's the thing about the 4-5. That's
Well, I'm thinking about
Yeah,
the fact
it's
that, I mean,
3-6.
this is 3-6. My bad.
3-6. You look at what Rondo did last
Might as
year
well
against the
be 4-5.
Celtics, with the Bulls. You've seen them battle adversity ever since losing DeMarcus Cousins. I mean, they if anything, you could argue that they kind of stepped it up a notch.
They just signed Jordan Crawford too. Oh my God!
I
this
mean,
team is gonna be
realistically, too, really the only reason why the Blazers are out of that mush is because they went on that 12-game winning streak.
balling. Yeah, after the All-Star break, they were
that's separated from the pack. And yeah, the Pelicans also went on a winning streak like that too, but they were way out of the picture when it happened. You know what I mean? Right. So that's why they're in much. So I don't think the Blazers are too far. I don't think there's no top 3 teams in the East. I mean, in the West. There's top 2 teams in the
top
West.
2
and then
the
rest, the standings don't matter after that.
Yeah.
Yo,
so
fuck it, give me the Pelicans.
yeah, I'm going to take the Pelicans too, man. I'm going to take the Pelicans
So
too.
the other was only
The Pelicans sweep the board.
No, actually, I'm taking the Blazers. I think this. No, you know why? Because Lillard has consistently just been
Oh man, he's one of my favorite players.
knocked out every first round. I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take the Blazers, just because Anthony Davis, and then if you get playoff Rondo, great.
Yeah, they need more than that.
And
I'm
then,
with you. It's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough.
man. Meritage has been on a tear.
I'm going Pelicans though.
I'm gonna go with the Pelicans, but in 7.
Oh, yeah, same.
Yeah, it's going 7. I'll give the Blazers the edge.
Oh, I can't wait. Playoff basketball. You got to love it, fellas. Zach, we appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll see if your predictions come through. If not, Sean will remind you why you fucked up, of course, like he always does. So don't think he's just picking on you, as you've seen in the past. He's kind of a douche.
I don't know. I'm sitting right
Kind
here,
of.
bro.
He's like, I'm right here.
Yeah, sounds good, guys. Always a pleasure. And let me know when I can get in studio sometime. It's
Yo,
been
come
too
through,
long.
man. We're
We're building a new studio soon, man.
Yeah, that's right. We're on the move again.
All right.
What else is new, I guess?
I know.
Ever since we've started the
Dodging
podcast, we just can't stay in one place.
Dodging those tax collectors.
Yeah.
They'll never catch me.
They're like, hey, the rent's due.
Yeah, young guys know about that noise. They would be like, what is that noise?
They're like, is that AIM connecting again?
All right, Zach, we'll talk soon, bro. We'll get you on here soon.
Later.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So,
Zach Pelican,
I'm
Causeway
just-
Street Podcast.
Yeah, I'm just going to comment on the way you ran that interview, Sway. All over the place, bro.
What do you mean?
I didn't know we were giving predictions. We sort of gave
Yo,
predictions.
I
and we
gave-
didn't really give predictions.
I did the run through before we started, man. We were
But like-
making predictions. I said we're gonna run through the Celtics, make our predictions.
I just
and,
feel
and say bye to Zach.
I just feel like we didn't predict the East, really.
Yeah, we predicted it.
Okay, we talking about Celtics now? Predictions on the Celtics series?
Yeah, we didn't make any predictions on the
Yeah,
Celtics.
we did. Oh no, we didn't. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. We
See what I'm saying? Listeners, tell me if that was fucking hard to follow.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
They'll still say, but it was fucking hilarious.
We went through every single series. Quick.
Yeah,
That's what we're supposed to do, man. Nobody wants to hear a breakdown of every
No, it
single
started.
series.
It started to pick up at the end, but I
It's
mean,
been like this is like 40 minutes going.
you were like Forrest Gump running with those fucking leg braces. You broke them off halfway down the road.
Listen, gotta go through it, man. Do you know like the last two like playoff previews has been like 2 hours long?
Yeah.
Anybody got time for that?
Are the
Everyone-
Celtics winning?
Yes, I think we all know what we're gonna say. Here.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm making my prediction: Celtics in 7 at home against the Bucks. They're probably gonna win by 13 points. That's my prediction.
Blow out in Game 7. I think the Celtics
Maybe
can
not a
win.
blowout, but 13 points.
I think the Celtics can win only if Marcus Smart comes back.
Okay.
I think
All right.
it's going to be very, very hard for them to beat the Bucks if they. I mean, just because
So he'll change the series.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, that boost that's a big boost. Getting a starter back in the middle of the playoff series, that's a huge boost, and especially. I mean,
Wait, he's not a starter, but okay.
well, you know what I'm saying. Now he would be a starter.
Mm.
And you know what? Okay, this is why. This is why I say it.
Mm.
You know what you're getting out of Marcus Smart, right? If he can supplement some minutes from a guy who may be struggling. What if Terry Rozier isn't having a great series? What if Jaylen Brown is struggling, or Tatum's struggling, or Morris is struggling? Whatever the case is, he can take minutes, and you're not relying then on an unknown, right? You know what you're going to get from Smart, so I think that's huge. So Celtics, I'll go Celtics in 7 with Marcus Smart coming back. I think it's going to go 7.
All right, Joel, what do you got?
Celtics in 6.
6, huh?
In 6. They're gonna win out there.
Bucktown, huh?
Out there.
Buxton.
Where the chowder heads are.
Yeah, I don't.
Chowderheads.
Chowderheads?
I
That's
don't know,
fucking
it's
here.
Cheated.
PBR heads?
My fault.
TBS.
The fucking.
Milwaukee.
That shit-
I meant to say cheddar. I meant to say cheddar
Sean
heads.
loves PBR. Yo, you got to drink PBRs the whole series.
No, I literally go to the bar. They can have all the craft beers in the world, and I'll just be like, "Hey, can I have a PBR?"
Let me get that $2 PBR in the long can, please.
Yeah, please.
I like.
Can.
I'll take 9 of those.
Bartender always goes keeping it classy tonight, huh?
Yes, and I go, "Why don't you fucking judge your own self? What do
goes-
you do when you look at the
She's
mirror
like,
every
all
day?"
right, 9 PBRs, that'll be $18.
And I'll be like, "Here's the 20, keep the change, bitch."
She's like a full $2 just
And
for
at
me.
that point, I'm fucking loaded. So you know,
Sean's
funny
like,
thing is that
everybody
else-
everybody's a winner.
And the funny thing is, everybody orders PBRs on nights where they're a little tight with cash.
Yeah.
No, Sean orders PBR because he loves it.
I do.
To him, it's like his beer of choice.
like literally, like sometimes I'll go into and I'll be like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that today. Let me get a Harpoon IPA. I'll drink that shit,
You're like,
and then I'll be like,
fuck it.
"Nah, come on, PBR, line them out, dude. Come on, let's go." I just immediately go back, revert to my old ways. $2,
All right, good stuff.
$2 PBRs.
Gotta love it. All right.
So wait, so what did you say for the Celtics?
I said Celtics in 7.
On 7, okay.
They're going to win by 13. That's
Now, if Marcus Smart doesn't come back,
with or without Marcus,
with or without Marcus, the
think it's a good
Celtics
chance
should
he'll
take
come
it in
back,
7. They should take it in 7 because they got the Bucks.
Here's my thing about Marcus. I think there's a really good chance we'll see Marcus towards the end of this series.
Sure.
Because it's a contract year. I think once it gets towards the end,
well, he has ahead of schedule.
They see how the series is going, and his agent is like, "All right, listen, Marcus, this team might not get out of this."
Great point, Joel.
What?
I said he is ahead of schedule. According to a report.
According to the report, he's ahead of schedule. Okay, go.
But no, they're gonna say
contract of belief.
As soon as the agent feels like, all right, the Celtics might lose this series, we need to get you out there to make one final lasting impression. So you can add a couple dollars to your new deal this upcoming summer. And I think it's going to happen, maybe game 6, maybe game 7. I think if it does happen, it's going to be game 7 though. If I had to bet on it.
Well,
I think also, the Celtics already have their number. It doesn't matter what.
Yeah.
The agent's not thinking about the Celtics.
Yeah.
They're thinking about the NBA.
But
the agent says, like, yo, you're on the national stage right now. They're not thinking about what the Celtics
I do think the Celtics sort of know, like, he's probably going to get re-signed next year. I think he is.
I still think some stupid team is going to be like,
really? See, I think the Celtics will be cautious with him because I think if you're looking at next year and you bring back Kyrie, you bring back Hayward, you have Smart as your role player, they may be cautious with him this year because they say, like, what's the point of rushing him back? You know what I mean? And Marcus Smart may even see that. What's the point of me rushing back? Injuring this thing again?
Marcus Smart will play right now if he has a chance.
Yeah, that's true.
He doesn't care.
He's been cleared for light practice.
Light practice meaning jogging, running, dribbling, shooting, passing, lightly.
We'll see. It's going to be a fun series.
No squats.
And, of course, we got you covered here.
No running.
Causeway Street. New website, by the way, guys. If you haven't realized, CausewayStreet.com. No more CausewayStreetBlog.com. We axed the blog part, and it's just CausewayStreet.com.
Causeway Street.
Check us out, man. We'll get you covered throughout the entire series. Got plenty of pieces in the works before game 1. And, of course, as the series goes on, we'll have plenty more. We got practice going on Friday, practice Saturday as well. And we'll have some pieces up off of those 2 practice, off of those quotes. And you can check us out, of course, at CausewayStreet.com, Facebook, Twitter. We'll also have the articles up on there. And, yes, your place for up-to-date coverage on the Boston Celtics playoff run. With that being said, let's wrap things up the way we wrap up every single episode here on the Causeway Street Podcast. We take our trip around the NBA. Joel reads some headlines. We laugh at him. We laugh at him. And we'll see what he got this time around, Joel. What we got here is this is the end segment called
In Case You Missed It.
In case you missed it.
Oh!
Guess who's back in the NBA, guys?
Ingram.
No, that would be his debut. He did not. He had never been in the NBA.
Hold on. Let me
It was a 10-year.
Yes.
I think he said Perkins. It's probably Perkins.
No. Oh, well, he's there. He's back too. But
Jordan Crawford.
It wasn't. No. I said that already too.
did say that.
No. There was no foreshadowing, guys. I said those guys, and they're part of mine in case you missed it.
Oh, yeah. Who's back in the NBA?
Somebody took it a time.
Yeah, Ingram. Yeah, he's not. He made his debut after 20 years.
Oh, I know. What's his name? He was on NBA TV. We were making fun of him the other day.
Tony Delk.
What's his name? Played for the Cavs for a while.
It's Gooden.
Close, but no. Boozer. Carlos Boozer.
Boozer.
Oh, that's a good guess.
Absolutely not.
Even though I am convinced Carlos Boozer and Dwight Gooden, same person. No, Dwight Gooden? That's not his name.
No.
Drew Gooden.
Drew Gooden. Dwight Gooden was the pitcher for the Mets.
All right, I give up. Who?
Loved cocaine.
Ty Lawson.
Oh, really?
Ty Lawson. A 30-year-old.
He was in China, wasn't
Yeah,
he?
he was. He was in China.
Where is he playing?
30-year-old point guard.
Is he still on the sauce?
Signed with the Wizards. Apparently the Wizards had an open
What?
roster spot.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they had an
He's
open
on the
roster spot.
Wizards?
It's on the
Can
Wizards.
he play in the playoffs? I thought you can't play.
Yeah.
No, he
How
can't.
did he make it?
He can't because they had an open roster spot, so they didn't have to cut anybody.
Oh, and he wasn't cut this year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep, he didn't play at all in the NBA, so he's been a free agent all season long.
Man, talk about another reason why they're going to beat the Raptors.
There you go.
Ty Lawson.
Blast from the past there.
The Wizards back.
Ty Lawson
really?
loves alcohol.
I'm never playing now.
Loves alcohol.
He does.
Yeah.
And driving while drinking
Yeah,
alcohol.
he
Jesus.
thoroughly enjoys to drive while intoxicated.
It was like, hey, just don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Have fun. Make millions of dollars.
Maybe China has really strict laws and he doesn't do that anymore. So
No, he just
is he still in the sauce?
I don't know.
Did you ask him?
I didn't ask
he's
him.
still in the sauce.
I didn't ask him.
I want to know.
I mean, I think the
Did
Wizards.
he pass the Cavassier?
I think the Wizards.
You can't be driving like that.
I think the Wizards and Puff Daddy said, "You're okay in our book."
All right.
Ty Lawson. Wow.
It ain't look like. I'm sorry.
All right, what else you got?
In case you missed it, New York and Orlando have coaching vacancies now, folks.
I've heard.
Oh man, they fired
Jeff
Frank.
Hornacek
That's not Frank's fault though.
out.
Yeah, Frank.
Fired just hours after the Knicks beat the Cavaliers.
He sucks.
They didn't wait.
Jeff
They didn't wait.
Jeff walked in the back was just like,
He had his backpack.
I'm done, right? Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I don't think he even did his post game press conference. They were like, "Yeah, we're not doing that for you today. You just come to our office when you're ready to come."
Yeah, like
back.
if you know you're gonna get fired, why do you even like stick it out? Like that's somehow gonna be like a good.
because he still gets paid.
He probably didn't know though.
I guess he still gets paid.
Well,
Well, he's gonna get paid regardless.
Yeah,
I
he
would just
gets
be
paid
like,
'cause he got
just
fired.
fucking fire me now.
Yeah.
Have fucking bring Patrick Ewing to coach.
That's why
Patrick
you
Ewing to coach the
That's what I'm
Knicks.
saying. That's why you never
Take
quit.
the job at Georgetown.
You never quit unless you're dumb, like Patino. You don't quit.
You know,
You get fired. You get your money.
After they told him, he was like, "Yeah, you're right." You're right.
And so in two seasons
Take this L and walk away.
2 seasons with the Knicks, 60 wins, 104 losses,
16.
60, 6-0.
16.
They won more than that this year, bro.
16
That
total.
was.
Yeah, they won 7 games last year.
I knew they were bad, but
So
He should have said yes. He
for
shot
those
Frank.
for those that don't know, well, I mean the Knicks fans know, Knicks have only won one playoff series in the last 18 years.
That was against the Celtics.
Yeah,
That sucked.
yeah.
That triggered the collapse of the Big Three.
did.
Danny Ainge was like, "There's no way we can continue now." We just lost
They were
the
like,
game.
wait, Carmelo just beat us in the. What? That's like.
That's why Paul Pierce gave Doc Rivers a huge hug. He's like, "Yeah, we're done."
Yeah, it's like, yeah. No, we're done, right? Carmelo just beat us.
So Orlando is the other vacancy. Frank Vogel was let go
Come on, yeah, Frank.
after 2 seasons.
Frank Vogel.
Frank
Yeah, man,
Vogel,
first
the Magic
of all,
made so many goddamn mistakes in the past 3 years building their team.
That's why I don't understand. Like, it's not Hornacek or Vogel's fault. They just had a shitty roster. Like, what do you want? What do you want?
That's true.
What do you want? What do you want? Like
Frank Vogel, you could have shown more patience with him. I mean, he's shown in the past. I mean,
But they need a rebuilding coach.
if
My
you
guess it
give
was
them more-
mutual.
if
It was
you-
probably mutual.
you think?
Yeah, I
I
think
don't know, man. I think Frank had a good thing going there. I think Aaron
a
Gordon
good
got banged
thing
up.
going
50,
there.
54 and 110.
No, I'm
in
saying
2 seasons.
No, I'm saying
Vogel.
I'm saying the roster.
15 wins.
I'm saying the roster itself. I mean, you got Vucevic was battling injuries. Gordon was battling injuries. Like, let these guys be healthy first, and then go from there.
Nah.
Like, what's the alternative?
Okay,
who's
what's
gonna
what's the alternative?
Well, I mean, I think
Let's
with
hypothetically say that team is 100% healthy. How many games do they win?
maybe 10 more?
30. They're a 30-win
How many
team.
they win this year?
Who the hell knows?
Oh shit!
I didn't even
thought
know.
you
I didn't even know Frank Vogel was really coaching in the league right now.
I just knew the 2 seasons combined, but you guys can battle that.
So
while I
let's
look this
just
up.
even divide 54 by 2.
Yeah, right.
That doesn't always work like
Do
that.
it, guys.
27?
Come on. Let me fucking do it.
27. I did it.
I
27.
think
27.
10.
So 3 more games.
Okay. No, they're a 30-win team either with Vucevic or without Vucevic. Aaron Gordon is not a good player.
They start off great.
What they had?
They were like
Terrence Ross?
5-1.
Yeah, dude. So this is the thing.
Terrence Ross.
First off, you traded your best draft pick in the past couple of years.
25 and 57 this year.
Yeah,
guys.
so
25.
they
So I think they
they'd win 30 games.
Could win 30.
Frank Vogel still gets fired at 30 games.
33. I think 33.
Second to worst team in the East.
Yeah. And don't forget they started the season off what?
Like 5-1,
5-1,
7-1, something
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
because that's always promising.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying 5 of those 25 wins have been at the beginning of the year.
Oh, I get
Like,
what you're saying.
so that means from what?
They went.
They beat
They
the
went
Celtics.
20.
They beat the Celtics.
They went
with
20 and
Irving.
50 the rest of the way.
20 and 50 the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Not a good look.
They beat the Celtics. I'm just saying. Shout out to Frank Vogel.
That's
You think
probably
they call
their
up-
best win of the
You
season.
think they'll call up Fizdale?
I don't know.
Fizdale,
How is that? How is
Fizdale, I think,
Well,
Fizdale's
go-
going to coach the Knicks.
No. Going back to the Knicks, I think
so.
I think Mark Jackson's going to coach the Knicks.
Mark Jackson.
I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
I think
feel
so.
like what happened with Golden State makes teams hesitant to give him.
I
a
also
shot.
think you got to look at Brad Stevens, and the Knicks may just look at the young coach from the tournament. I forget who it was. Maybe any college coach. They'll probably try to pick a college
Yeah,
coach.
I'm surprised. Ever since the Brad Stevens, the success of Brad Stevens,
And
that
Bobby
organizations do
Bobby
that more.
Davidson.
He's an OKC.
Surprised we're
bro.
not seeing organizations go
He's
that
not in
route.
OKC anymore?
No, he's an OKC.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's a college coach, though.
Oh yeah. Okay, I got you. I
The
thought you
two
were saying like,
college
I thought you were
coaches-
saying like he was out, like he ready for an NBA job.
Two examples of college coaches being successful.
Calipari coaching next.
Calipari.
Yeah, Rick Pitino is going to be coaching the Magic.
Hey, he's got no job.
Yeah, that's what I was going at.
So maybe Patrick Ewing now finally gets an opportunity in Orlando because not New York.
What college is he at right now? Patrick
Oh,
Ewing.
Pat Georgetown. And they sucked this year. He's not a good coach.
I thought he was coaching another school.
No, it's Georgetown. Hoyas. He coaches them.
As opposed to Georgetown Bulldogs.
Oh, that's right. Yo, he showed up last year when I was there for Celtics had practice there before Game 4. He showed up.
Well, he went to Georgetown, too.
I know that, Sean. That part I know. For some reason, I thought he was.
You know who else went there?
Small school.
Allen Iverson.
You know who else went there?
Dikembe.
Alonzo.
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got, Joe?
Well, in case you missed it, if you're someone that's got to announce the Oklahoma City Thunder on a regular basis and you watch, Russell Westbrook every single game, whether it's home or away, your emotions might get the best of you. What I'm trying to say is Oklahoma City in their last game of the season, one of their announcers made a comment about Russell Westbrook that might have been a little controversial.
No.
So, why don't you guys take a listen?
Okay.
Oh, boy.
And
It's one of those, huh?
Yeah, it was one of those.
Jeez, Joel pulled the audios. That's how bad it was.
Yeah. Is this a racial slur?
That's the first thing I think.
He just Oklahoma City.
I hope he didn't call him nappy.
Racial slurs.
Tell me he didn't call him nappy. He should go with Sean likes to say unkempt. That's always the route you got to go.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Steal for Westbrook. Taking a bump. Russell looking for Ferguson in the corner for three. Bang! Westbrook is out of his cotton picking mind. Westbrook with his 11th rebound, 11 down.
Oh no! Come on!
Was that?
That was just a little Southern racism that just went. Hey, I'm still in Oklahoma City, folks.
That's not even a saying. Why would he say that?
If you guys didn't hear it,
Cotton picking my.
he said Russell Westbrook, and I quote, is out of his cotton picking mind. End quote. I want to know the announcer that was right there with him. I wonder what his face was as soon as that came out of his partner's mouth. There, like
Jesus
what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, that's oh man,
What did he
That's not a
say
good
after?
look.
Is that the whole clip?
he
That's
just
the
goes probably went silent for
Yeah.
like 4 to 10 seconds.
No. It keeps going. He keeps, the play keeps going, and his partner is just silent, doesn't say shit, and no one talks about it until it goes on social media and everywhere else.
Russ is out of his
Cotton
fried chicken
picking
mind.
mind.
Oh no.
So,
So how did that go over?
is there any excuse?
Is there any
No,
excuse?
that's not even a saying.
No,
What would make you say that?
Literally just like his dad probably grew up in Oklahoma City, who was probably
It just came out
very
right?
big racist back in the 60s.
So,
he probably heard it as a kid. He's like, look at this guy.
Subconsciously
Yeah,
just
it just
so
came out.
the Thunder came out and said,
He should have said that.
yes,
he should've
the
said
remarks were offensive.
Steven Adams out of his boomeranging mind.
He should've said that
Nick
about
Collison.
Steven Adams. He's not his cotton picking man.
He's out of his blooming onion mind.
So the Thunder play-by-play announcer, his name is Brian Davis,
Okay.
an older gentleman.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Voted for Trump. Where's New Balances?
In a statement by the vice president of broadcasting for the Thunder, we think obviously the use of the term was offensive and inappropriate.
Did they say the use of the term and then put in quotations or something?
No, I'm saying this is like the quote I'm reading from them.
I can just imagine dude when he found out. He was just like,
And
I
I-
said what?
And
I gotta freaking make a statement about this. Jeez.
and I expressed this to Brian last night, according to Dan Mahoney.
What's wrong with you?
Brian is Brian assures me that he did not mean that in the derogatory way, and he apologizes. But again,
in the
we feel
figurative way.
strongly that it's inappropriate and once again offensive. I love how ESPN.
Imagine if he tries to like justify it. He's like, I always talk to my white friends and say they're out of their cotton picking mine too. All right, it's just a saying that I use.
I love how ESPN tries to, in case anyone doesn't know, the phrase "out of his cotton picking mind," which loosely means, in quotes, crazy, had its origins in describing workers who harvested cotton crops in the South, and it's often perceived as derogatory with racial overtones.
I don't think they were workers. I don't think anyone was getting paid in that situation.
It set off a firestorm on social media. No shit, ESPN. Really.
Free workers.
Really.
Who were, another word for that.
I think they got away.
Slaves.
They got a word for that.
Slaves.
So I take it the next time Oklahoma City plays, we'll hear from Mr. Brian Davis.
Now, I don't know if this is going too far, but could you imagine the first person to actually say?
When they were interviewing like Westbrook at the end of Westbrook at the end of the game.
History.
Yo, did you hear what Brian Davis said, bro?
I mean, in history, like someone's just watching, and they're like, "That guy's out of cotton picking mine." You know what he did?
You mean that crazy fella over there?
That was the guy who
out of his cotton picking mine.
The guy who tried to run away from the plantation.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
That was the first person who was referred to that way.
Oh, jeez Christ.
That brown fella over there.
Wow. Surprised I haven't heard about this.
Yeah,
So
me too.
You can't make this stuff up, folks.
No, you really can't.
You can't. So I decided
he said it with so much like fervor, and just loved it.
No, because the first thing when I read the piece and I heard about it, and it was all over social media, I was like, I wonder if he even realized until someone was like, "Dude, did you realize what you just said?"
Ron Burgundy.
First time out. As soon as they call it, as soon as the dead ball,
like TV timeout, whatever.
He just like takes a sip of his Diet Coke.
Headsets off. What the hell is wrong with you, bro?
He was like, "What? What? Did I scream in your ear too loud?"
You know what you just did.
It's
like Ron Burgundy.
You
know what you just did.
Was my cigarette, in your face? I'm sorry. What did I say?
By the way,
because he's smoking while he's
let's talk about Westbrook
doing a play-by-play.
No, the triple-double.
Yeah. No. Triple-double average. Yeah, not the game.
Season.
Yeah. He went out of his way to make sure he grabbed 20 rebounds and
got 20.
Put up 19 assists.
Good. Telling you.
He just lets, it's okay. He just still rebounds away from his teammates. It doesn't matter because he did play out of his cotton picking mind. And that is it for.
In case you missed it.
This racial overtone. In case you missed it, is brought to you by Aunt Jemima. No, I'm kidding.
Jesus, man.
All right, we're out of here.
This is the last episode of the Causeway Street Podcast.
If we did a close up shop last episode, this is it right here, folks. Follow us on Twitter, obviously.
Hey, we got a new website, guys.
Yes, new website, CausewayStreet.com. Oh, and make sure you give Zach to a follow. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
OTW Sports.
We'll have him back on, of course. Zach is one of the writers for Causeway Street. I'm sure he'll get something up there soon as well.
I'm sure after he hears the In Case You Missed It, he's gonna not want to come back. But
yeah, he might. And this is why we don't have any sponsors. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
No, man, that's literally the conversation that's been had with you, I'm sure. This is what the fuck is this? You want a fucking sponsor? Who's gonna sponsor you?
I've actually had the conversation of, I don't understand, a lot of other podcasts getting picked up. But for some reason, you guys don't have a sponsor for a little while. I'm like, I think I know the reason. Hey, we are who we are, right? All right.
We are who we think we are.
We're not your typical sports podcast, all right? But we're good. We get great feedback. We got good following. We love our fans, man. So we have to.
Hey.
We're faithful to who we are.
In case I don't say enough, guys, I got nothing but love for y'all, and I'm going down with the ship. Doesn't matter what happens.
We're gonna get the after show going. It's gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
Exclusive. Mm-hmm. That's coming.
Patreon. We're doing big things. Big things coming. Especially the Celtics keep playing longer and longer this postseason.
Stay tuned. Causeway Street Podcast. Thank you for listening. Until next time, guys.
And we out.
Bye.
Put that away, sir. Jesus Christ.
Bye.